Hello, my wonderful water babies. Welcome back. As you know, I am Mama Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver some guided messages for the eclipse season. So, we had the new moon solar eclipse at 0 degrees Cancer that was signifying a rebirth of the divine feminine. That happened on June 21st, 1:55 EST. And yeah, that signified the rebirth of divine feminine. And then we have the full moon lunar eclipse coming up at 13-degree Capricorn, which is indicating a release of divine masculine energies. So these cycles are about, I'm going to be doing a cycle breaking spread for everybody. I suggest watching your sun, moon, and rising. So these cycles are about Cancerian energy because I'm doing them the day after or the day of the eclipse, which has to do with home, aspects of motherhood, our emotional roots, and our ancestral trauma. And because these eclipses are happening on the Cancer Capricorn axis, they are sister signs. This indicates that it can be due to the relationship, like all the energies have to do with Mother Moon, which is Cancer, which is like our own emotional roots and own emotional world, as well as a mother figure in our life, as well as Father Time, which is Capricorn, and that's the physical presence within social structures, physical limitations, tradition, and also relationship with our father figures. So like I said, please watch your sun, moon, and rising. I will put a timestamp in the description box below so you can do that with ease. What we're going to do is take a look at the cycles that are happening and then look at how best to break them. And then I will also be pulling oracles from the Inner Child Oracle to see what your inner child needs to hear. So I'm going to do a water collective, and then I will do Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Like I said, all of that will be in the description box below, as well as the links to the other elements for sun, moon, and rising. So here we go. Or any sort of dominant, like if you have, 7 planets in the 5th house, then I would suggest that you look at Leo. You know what I mean? All right. So first we are going to look at the water collective. What cycle does the water collective need to break? Oh, and so these cycles are something to work on between now and our next eclipse season, which is in December. So let's see, what do the water signs, what cycle do the water signs need to focus on? Sign, okay. So we have chains in reverse, the 6 of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the 3 of Swords. So there's this aspect of releasing heartbreak, honestly. It's like there is this propensity to become so bogged down by things, and it's like you don't get bogged down by the material like maybe an earth sign would. You get bogged down by the emotional, and it's really trying not to become so overwhelmed with that energy and feeling like that someone else has the answer, right? It's like you will go through hell. You will go through torture for anything, and all it does is hurt you. And as we can see with the 6 of Swords and the Ace of Wands, it's that very similar energy. Like he's looking out to, an elder for some sort of, light, like, oh yeah, show me the way, show me the light, right? And here is the light that this traveler is looking for, where he has to go through this trial, through this pond. And I'm really getting that it's like you might have this sort of promise that people give you, right? And it's like they will promise to give you this light, right? I feel like it's very much this carrot on a stick sort of situation. and they promise it to you, but you never actually physically obtain it. And they put you through all these tests and trials and tribulations. Like, are you gonna walk through, you know, the spooky forest and, you know, walk through the haunted river in order to get this light that someone is giving you, like offering to you, but not actually offering, right? They show it to you, but they never offer it. And this causes the Three of Swords, and this is absolute heartbreak, right? And this is more than just the typical Three of Swords, which always indicates heartbreak. But in this deck, as you can see, the three swords, one's in the heart, one's in the neck, and one is in the crown chakra. So like, it's like you allow yourself to be, allow people to dangle this carrot in front of you, and you are prone to going through these trials and tribulations, and it hurts your heart, it hurts your throat chakra. So very much like, you know, might stop you from saying what you actually want to say, because you're afraid if you vocalize what it really is, then they will take away this light, right? And then it also influences your crown chakra, of course, because if someone is playing you like that, then it influences the way that you get downloads. It might cause you to not trust people, or might, you know, you might be overly trusting. But there's definitely some aspect of like, ooh, look at this pretty thing, you know, and then it just leads to a bad cycle. We'll just put it that way. What's the light energy here? Yeah, Drapion using Venomous Fang. This is a dark type, so there's dark in the light. So I think that you are very aware that this is toxic, right? Or that it's dark. You're aware that it's darker energy. So that's good that you're aware, right? You're not in denial, which water signs usually aren't. We tend to be emotionally masochistic, if anything. Like, I know they hurt me, but like, I just love them so much. You know, it's just like not being able to let go. Like the story of this gal in the card and her heartbreak, like she falls in love with a guy, and, you know, he ends up falling in love with someone else, right? And she is so heartbroken. She dies from a broken heart and haunts the fuck out of him. She haunts him until the day that he dies, and she, as a ghost, is trying to convince her ex-lover, like, I'm the one, blah, 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 you lost me, blah, 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 you know, and like it influences his other relationships to the point that he goes crazy and isn't able to love anyone else because he's being haunted, right? And then she is there on his deathbed while he is afraid of death. I know it's a little dark. As a water sign, I know you can take it. But yeah, the light aspect is dark energy, and it's Venomous Fang. So you are very aware that this is toxic. Drapion is also a Scorpio Pokemon, so I think that this specifically resonates with Scorpions or Scorpios, or like if you're dealing with someone with a Scorpio, or you have Scorpio placements, like this is especially emphasized for you, that you know that this is toxic. It says, it takes pride in its strength. Even though it can tear foes apart, it finishes them with a powerful poison. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, like how it's saying it takes pride in its strength. And I know as water signs, that's what we do, right? We have this emotional strength that other people don't have. And we can really go through it, right? Like we don't get bogged down by the physical attachments like Scrooge's, you know, partner, like, don't make the same mistakes, right? That's what he comes and tells Scrooge. But it's that energy in reverse. So it's like, it's really a lesson of not learning a lesson, right, of heartbreak. And, you know, we take this emotional, this great pride in our emotional strength that makes us feel like, oh yeah, we can handle it. Like just because you can handle a burden doesn't mean that you should bear it, right? Especially when you realize that it's a cycle and the same thing is repeating over and over again. And it says, even though it can tear foes apart, it finishes them off with a powerful poison. So that's very Scorpionic energy, you know, like definitely like, and of course it applies to all water signs here, but it's like, you know, I have the power to absolutely destroy you, but what am I going to do? I'm going to poison you instead, right? Instead of cutting it off, I'm just going to retaliate with this poison, which will, you know, kill you slowly. So, and that's the thing, it's very much that revenge, that Scorpio revenge of like, I'm gonna get ya, right? And that perpetrates this cycle, right? It keeps it going because you feel the need to sting back when someone hurts your heart. Let's see what the shadow is. Ooh. Yeah, steel energy. So, yeah, I don't know if someone stole from you, if that's part of the cycle of stealing. I never get that with steel energy, but it really spoke to me about that. But steel energy is learning all about how to protect yourself, right? Protecting your energy. Steel is creating a barricade, right? And also rigidness. So the shadow can be that you tend to be a little bit too rigid when it comes to that. But I'm really getting that there's a lack of protecting your own energy, right? I feel like you also don't protect other people from your energy, right? As water signs, we're energy leakers, and we can choose whether that's a very positive or a negative thing. So just be very careful, you know, about how you protect your chakras, how you protect your aura. You know, it's very, very important to keep that on track. Let's see. What's the advice on how to break the cycles? So right to the protective energy, we have the Page of Wands and the Two of Wands. So there is Page of Wands, and then we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Yeah, okay. Right to this. You need to learn how to protect your energy, because Page of Wands, which is like sexual unseriousness is what I'm getting. This is very much about creating boundaries, right? Like, putting up these barricades with people who come at you with this Page of Wands energy, which is not very serious, right? It's just not, like, sexually, like, only people who just want sexual energy from you, right? That's what the Page of Wands typically denotes. And this card definitely has some shamanic energy, so learning how to change sexual energy and, you know, into something else by using sex magic and things is really what I'm getting. And part of that is through guarding your energy. Like, protect your root chakra, absolutely. You know, your sexual energy. Don't share it with these people who only are interested in sex. And then we have the Two of Wands, which is twin flame, right? But in this deck, the twin flame is the doppelganger, which is the evil twin. So just be very careful. I don't know if any of you have an evil twin out there. Protect yourself from that energy. And also, you know, recognize when someone is mirroring you, and that's another thing that you need to recognize. And, you know, as water signs, we definitely love to play victim, but, you know, it's our responsibility to end these cycles. We can't, you know, we keep attracting these types of people into our life because that's what we attract, right? Like, it's, you know, it's not okay for them to be treating us this way at all, but it's also up to us to be able to create these boundaries so that this cycle doesn't repeat, especially with someone who you might think is a twin flame, but is actually a karmic, you know, evil doppelganger type energy, because we have the Seven of Wands coming out in reverse, because, like, you cannot be controlled this way, right? The Seven of Wands is having, like, wands, your love, your lust, your passion, your intensity, right? Like, having that be a puppet master over you. Like, it's that energy in reverse. Like, no more puppeteering. We are not anybody's puppets. And you can't let that, the wand energy, right? The love, the lust, the passion, the intensity, which we have, you know, the Ace of Wands of going on that journey, right? We can't let that energy manipulate us any longer, right? And we are our own puppet masters, right? And we hand the strings over to somebody else consciously, right? And if you're doing it unconsciously, then you need to become conscious of your own patterns. What's the light energy here? Yeah, solar plexus in reverse. I had this feeling about this because during the cleansing ceremony, I had a lightning card come up, electric type. And again, look, there it is, that light, right? Of, like, other people drawing you into this light. And this is associated with the solar plexus chakra, right? And the solar plexus chakra is all about like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. You know, it's your personality, what makes you you, associated with Leo in the 5th house, right? So this aspect of like sense of self, right? It's in reverse here. Like you can't attach your sense of self to other people. It's like, you might consider yourself like, yeah, I'm the girlfriend of this person, or I'm the boyfriend of this person, or I'm the lover of this person, or the daughter, or the mother, or the son, or the father, you know, always an extension of someone else. But like, how do you truly define yourself, you know, outside of relationships? And I think that's really what needs to be worked on during this eclipse season, is finding, you know, your solar plexus in a way where it's not that other people are giving it to you and telling you who you are. Right? Because that's just leading you to heartbreak, and it's just not a good cycle. What's the shadow here? What is the shadow? So, Bergmite using Stomp Off, which is water type. So, again, this is some watery energy. Also associated with the throat chakra. So you might feel, if you protect your energy, that other people are going to stomp off. Like, let them fucking stomp right the fuck off, right? This is also like, even though it's a water type, it's ice. So you might feel that it's a little bit cold to protect yourself. It's not. You got to, baby. You got to. It says, it blocks opponents' attacks with ice that shields its body. It uses cold air to repair any cracks with new ice. Yeah, that's the thing. There are going to be some conversations that are going to be uncomfortable, right? But it's time, and you're strong, and you can do that. You need to protect your energy and learn how to set these boundaries, right? And yes, like, you're a water sign. You can go colder than anyone, right? You can become frozen. And it's time to, you know, solidify your emotions a little bit and let them be icy, right? Because when you solidify them, it's going to turn into, you know, a crystalline structure like a snowflake, and you're going to see the pattern, right? Solidify these emotions. And it says that it uses cold air to repair any cracks, right? And cold air I take as cold conversation. Like, you can go cold on people. You owe them, you know, nada, right? It's time to find who you are. And we have Eevee using Tackle and Litwick using Trip Over. Yeah. So it says, thanks to its unstable genetic makeup, this special Pokemon conceals many different possible evolutions. That's the thing. You can create yourself and, you know, evolve into whatever you want to be, right? Because right now, your solar plexus chakra is so attached to, you know, everybody else, right? And the role that you play in their lives, that you just need to tackle this issue by, you know, going a little bit cold to some people, no longer being pulled by other people's strings, and go on this new journey. I get this it's very like the Fool type energy for me, right? So a whole new cycle starting, and you have so many different possibilities for evolution, and just recognize that, right? Because you're on a hunt to find your solar plexus. So, and then we have Litwick using Trip Over. So this is a psychic type. I do have a feeling that you're a little tripped up on a specific person, some type of flame, right? Could be your twin flame, because we have the Two of Wands there. And they might really try to trip you up, right? Because especially in twin flame relationships, the solar plexus chakra is shared, right? Your sense of self. So you could really be enmeshed, or, you know, feeding off of each other's solar plexus type energy. So just saying. It says, while shining a light and pretending to be a guide, it leeches off the life force of anyone who follow it. Yeah, there are some of you that have an evil twin, and they are leeching off of you and trying to take this energy, right? They act like they're helping you to guide you, and it might not be your actual twin flame. It might be a karmic pretending, or you might think they're your twin flame, or you know what I mean? And this can apply to people in general. But they may act like they're guiding you when really all they're doing is leeching off of that precious solar plexus of yours. So just beware, water signs. All All right, let's see, what does the inner child for the water signs need to hear? What does the inner child of water signs? The sleep. Yeah, okay. So make sure that you are getting enough rest. Make sure that you aren't sleeping too much, right? There's a lot of really heavy, dense energy going on with the eclipses, and sleep is very important. And if you don't have the foundation of a proper sleep schedule, it's really hard to tackle stuff like this, of breaking your cycles, of, you know, finding out who you truly are, right? That's a life task. And I feel like during this eclipse season is really a time to be asking yourself that question, even if the answer, you know, might not be as apparent, right? It will. If you keep working on it, you will get the solar plexus in the upright. And of course, you know, dreams, make sure you're recording your dreams. We have Pisces, Neptune going retrograde in Pisces tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of messages coming at you in the dream realm. So just stay open to them. Keep a dream diary and things like that. Okay, water signs, I hope that you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm going to do Cancer, then Scorpio, then Pisces, and the timestamps will be in the description box below. Mwah. My dear Cancers, let's see what sort of cycle that you are stuck in that needs to be worked on. What sort of cycle are our sweet, cute, cuddly Cancers getting stuck in these days? Did I see a flipper? Yep, the 8 of Cups in reverse. So this is giving me an energy of stagnation, of not really moving forward emotionally with something. Because the 8 of Cups, you know, upright is very much like, here comes a charging knight, you know, in to find his true love, you know, going through some sort of portal, right? Like destined to go after what they want, right? Emotional fulfillment with the 8 of Cups. But, you know, because 8 does indicate some scorpionic energy of cycles, there is this aspect of, you know, maybe rushing in, but then withdrawing. Or it's like becoming attached to people who aren't rushing towards you is what I'm getting. It's like you might be really into people who are emotionally distant. And for some of you, I'm feeling that's because a parent was, and it causes you to seek out that sort of same type of affection, right? It's like you go for the same person, and then it's like, I'll change them, you know, love me, come towards me, that sort of energy. So just be careful of getting attached to people who aren't coming towards you, because someone should be rushing towards you, right? They should be, you know, going through other fucking realms to come for your beautiful heart, right? So let's see what the light aspect of this is. What's the light aspect of this cycle? What is the light aspect? Drifloon, transfer pain in reverse. So yeah, it's like, you're like, oh, well, like, okay, so this is a psychic type. So it's very much like the psychic connection, right? And it's like, people might not physically be coming towards you, right, in the 3D, but psychically you're connected, right? And it's like they aren't, they're not hurting you, you know, in your spirit, but they hurt you because you know that they love you, right? But they just don't come towards you. They just don't rush towards you in the way that you want them to, right? So it's either stop getting in relationships with people like that, or it's, you know, release the expectations that they will physically come towards you. And this is very much a cycle of, you know, like psychically transferring pain, but not, right? So it might not hurt as like bad, because I have a feeling that it's, it could be some sort of absentee energy with a mother or a father. So it like, it doesn't hurt that they're not physically there, because you might be used to a parent not being there. It's so weird that I'm getting like this parent energy, but Drifloon is also the Pokemon that steals children. Like, it's a pretty dark energy. Sorry, Cancer. But Drifloon is a balloon Pokemon, and it floats around kids that are like alone. And if kids grab onto them, the Drifloon just like takes the child. It's pretty weird energy. Let's see what it says. It says, these Pokemon are called signposts for wandering spirits. Yeah. Children holding them sometimes vanish. Yeah, so I'm getting very much that this has to do with some sort of absentee parent, whether that was emotionally or physically, but I really am getting that they are distant, right? But with Cups, it can be emotionally, that they don't emotionally rush towards you. And that's the thing. It's like you crave them to come towards you in some sort of way. And, you know, the signposts for wandering spirits, you might really get attracted to people who are just wandering spirits that don't want to come towards you the way that you truly need them to come towards you. What's the shadow here? Something's telling me that's too many. Yeah. Can you please be specific? One or two only, please. Honehenge using Pierce, and Trevenant using Nervous Seed. Yeah. This definitely hurt, right? It was very piercing. And this is a steel type. So someone who's very reserved, someone who is very cold. And I feel like you had a parent that was that way, right? They didn't come towards you emotionally, possibly physically, but they were just very guarded with the steel type. And they might have been, you know, we have a sword, which sword, you know, in traditional tarot is air, communication and things like that. They could have been very piercing with their communication. And that's why when other people act that way, it doesn't transfer pain to you because you're used to it, right? You're used to being treated that way. It says, apparently the Pokemon is born when a departed spirit inhabits a sword. It attaches itself to people and drinks their life force. Yeah, it's so weird that we're getting this like stealing energy. It came up in the Water Collective and now it's coming up again, Cancer. Like, just be aware that this is a way, like you longing for them, longing to be taken away, right? Just like a child, you know, by itself, you know, grabbing onto a balloon and being taken away, the way that you want someone to rush towards you that they're not, that's a way, and like longing for that energy from someone who's unwilling to give it to you is a way of stealing energy, and you give them that energy when you continue this cycle. And we have Trevenant using Nervous Seed again. So there could be like with Seed, I get very much, you know, cycles with parent and child, and nervousness. So there could be an aspect of, again, it's psychic type. So it's very much unspoken. It's like, you know, psychically that they love you, but when they talk to you, it just pierces you, right? And this makes you very nervous, in a lot of ways. So some of you could have some pretty big, anxiety issues is what I'm getting. It says, using the roots as a nervous system, it controls the trees of the forest. It's kind to the Pokemon that reside in its body. Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, you know, controlling the trees of the forest, like, and we have the nervous system involved as well. And there's a lot to be said about, you know, our programming and the relationship with our parents and how that causes us to allow these sorts of cycles, right? And then our nervous system craves that high again from being neglected, right? And wanting that energy from someone who's unwilling to give it to us. And we're just craving for that moment that they give it to us. And then when we meet people who actually give it to us, well, they seem boring, right? And it talks about, you know, it being kind to Pokemon that reside in its body. So again, it's very much enmeshment. And, you know, you might allow this person to treat you this way, because you know that if you speak up, it will be piercing, right? That they will hurt you with their words. So it's very much that you keep this nervousness to yourself and, you know, are just waiting for them to come towards you. Well, Cancers, can't say I haven't been there. All right, let's see how we can break this. Okay. The Three of Wands. Wow, so this is very much a mediation type energy. I get very much therapy, maybe going to therapy with a partner, therapy with a parent. This is very much, you know, yeah, having some sort of mediator. This is also, you know, getting a third party opinion on this, of course. And this story specifically is all about taking the high road, about doing the right thing. So, like, I don't remember the specifics of the journey, but this guy goes on this crazy, crazy journey with his gal. And, you know, he was tested by his moral aptitude, you know, of like, don't do this because it's wrong, right? And then he meets this old man where he's tempted to take back this promise, right? But he does the right thing, and that's how he is able to, you know, be with the true love of his life, and he gets a lot of fortune because he did the right thing even when faced with adversity. So take it upon yourself, do the right thing, you know, don't stoop to their level and try to transfer pain to them, right? And it's very much about doing the right thing. That's the light energy here. Fighting type. So yeah, this is a fight that you're gonna have to stick to, right? It's coming out in stuck energy. So this is a fight you're gonna have to fight and stick to it. Breaking ancestral curses, breaking, you know, emotional cycles are not easy, right? This is ancestral trauma we're tapping into. This is, you know, cycles that are being passed down through your lineage, right? And as a Cancer, with your emotional intelligence, that there's a reason why this is passed to you to break, right? And it is going to be a fight that you're really going to have to continue to fight. What's the shadow here? We have Magnemite. It's going to shock some people. When you start staying true to your solar plexus chakra, which I'm sure that you watch the Water Collective, so you know all about that spiel. You know, like when you stay true to the solar plexus chakra and you start generating your own, like, this is me, this is who I am, you know, not pining after somebody else, it is going to generate some shock within other people. And that's good, right? It is good. It needs to happen. It says, it moves while constantly hovering. It charges thunder waves and so on from the units at its sides. So this is very much about like balancing, you know, discharging the thunder wave, which thunder wave is an attack that paralyzes people, right? So it's going to paralyze some people. It's going to shock some people. It's just something you have to do. And it talks about, you know, the units on its side, and those are magnets and have, you know, north and south, positive, negative energy. So the thing is like, this is going to be a fight, right? And in the shadow, which is the more, you know, darker, deeper energy, this is going to shock people that you are now fighting for who you are and that they can't control you and things like that. And you don't want to repeat this cycle. And, you know, it's very much going to be a balance of the positive and the negative. Right? There's going to be a lot of change. This is a fight that you're going to be fighting. Right? So, All right, let's see what Cancer's inner child needs to hear. What does Cancer's inner child need to hear? I'm hearing, I love you, sweetie. The power and the sleep. Yeah, again, Cancers, we had this in the Water Collective. Watch your sleep. Watch your sleep schedule. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure that you are not oversleeping too much. And the power. This is all about learning to own and hold your own power, right? Because it looks like you grew up in dynamics where you having your own power was met with some pretty harsh words, right? And the way that it was safe was to just be controlled by someone else. And your nervous system got very much attached to that. And, you know, that's why it doesn't hurt, because it's just your normal. But it's, you know, that's not you in your power. And to find your power is to find, you know, your solar plexus energy. And it is going to shock people, and it is going to, you know, push some people away. And that's okay. Because when you have your power, you attract the right people. Okay, Cancer, please like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, the more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. If you're interested in a personal reading, please feel free to email me at sachithescorpio@gmail.com, or you can hit me up, excuse me, on Instagram at sachithescorpio. And as always, I love you guys so much. I'm sending you a big hug and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah. Okay, my dear Scorpios, let's see. What is the cycle that needs to be broken? What cycle does Scorpio... We have the Chariot in reverse. Interesting. So Cancer had a very similar energy to this about people not coming towards them, right? And I feel like there's a cycle of, you know, the Chariot is all about moving things forward and also letting things go, right? Like the Chariot in this, he comes to collect the souls of the dead and take them to the next realm. And with, you know, this guy, the story of this card, this guy here, like, it's forbidden to watch this, right? You're not supposed to watch the dead being taken to the other realm. And this guy does it and is cursed, right? So I feel like there is this aspect of, one, you might be addicted to relationships where, you know, people aren't coming towards you. People aren't making that effort to move things forward. But really, I'm getting the way it's like you don't let yourself move forward because you won't let go, right? You won't let the energies of the past pass on into the next realm. And then there's also this energy of like looking at things that you shouldn't see, right? Like it's forbidden to watch the dead pass, but this guy is like, oh no, well, I'm going to anyway. And so, you know, as Scorpios, we tend to be paranoid. We tend to be, you know, obsessive. So being invasive is something that, you know, is an unevolved Scorpio trait. And I do think that that's part of this cycle, that really needs to be broken. Like, don't invade on someone's personal space, because that is just going to make it even harder to be able to let things go. What's the light energy here? Milk tank using hammer in. Yeah, whenever this card comes out, whenever hammer in is an attack, it indicates that everything I said, hammer in that conclusion, right? So definitely be careful about, you know, what you are doing and invading in someone else's space, and also about not letting go of things in the past, you know, of not being able to move forward because you won't let something, you know, be dead, right? Like, honestly, Scorpios, it's like we beat the dead horse, right? We beat the dead fucking horse until, you know, forever. And we will, even after the horse is dead and we've beaten it, we will fucking come out of the cave and do the forbidden thing and watch the dead horse being taken to the other realm, which we're not supposed to, right? Like, we're we're crazy sometimes like that. So it's just a cycle that really needs to be identified. It really does. It says, and also Milk Tank is some Taurus energy. So I don't know if anyone has Taurus placements or second house placements in their natal chart. That really does indicate this stubbornness, right? Because like, and Taurus is our sister sign. So we share a lot of the same values. Like Scorpios are pretty stubborn, but you know, we're a lot more malleable, even though we're a fixed sign, right? But our sister sign is Taurus, fixed earth. And it's like my way or the highway, like, very much rigid, very stuck, like, nah. So there is some rigidity here of like, no, but I deserve to beat the dead horse. And no, but I deserve to invade on someone's space. Like, no, we actually don't. And it says, if it's around babies, the milk it produces contains much more nutrition than usual. Yeah, and I feel like because, you know, it's talking about babies, and of course, this is all about ancestral cycles. So I feel like this is something that maybe you experience from childhood, is that, you know, a parent never let things go with you, or a parent was constantly, you know, invading your space, that you never had any privacy or things like that. And it's causing you to repeat those patterns, and you might repeat it maybe with your partners or your children if you have them. But you need to break it so that you don't repeat it with your children, right? What's the shadow here? We have Vespa Queen, Intelligence Gathering. Yeah, Solar Plexus in Reversion, Clamp Pearl, Shell Protection. Yeah, exactly. Your justification is that your heart chakra needs to gather this intelligence. And that's why you deserve to look at the things you shouldn't look at. Well, no. Right? The intelligence gathering is not an excuse to invade on someone's personal space. And usually as Scorpios, we are dealt with that people invade on our space, which makes us very protective and also makes us paranoid and feel the need that we need to cross that boundary with other people. But it's just unhealthy. It says its abdomen is a honeycomb for grubs. It raises the grubs on honey collected by comb bee. Yeah, so this can also be using friends as a way to gather intelligence rather than invading on someone's actual space, like going through their phone or going through a room or something like that. It's very much like, you know, you might use friends in order to do this. And because we do have Vespa Queen, I do get very much the mother, right? And I feel like for some of you, it could have been a mother figure or your actual mother that, you know, started this cycle in you. Might be through like the mom side of the family that it's that way. And this is influencing your sense of self, right? Your solar plexus chakra, which in the water collective, you know all about this card coming out in reverse. So this is not you, right? It's not you. It's not who you are. It's not, you know, your personality. It's a cycle that was, you know, programmed into you since childhood, and it's time to protect it and to break it. We have Clamp Pearl using shell protection. I get very much some Cancerian energy here. And, you know, this has to do with protecting your emotions. And I understand that it's a way that you try to protect your emotions by shelling them away, is by getting information, by like snooping or through other friends or whatever it may be. Because like you need to be in the know 24/7, right? So that you know that your emotions are the way that they need to be. But the thing is this is not a good cycle. It's not a good justification because it's not you. It's not you. It's just a program that you're stuck in. It says it's protected by a sturdy shell. Once in a lifetime, it makes a magnificent pearl. Yeah, so it's talking about once in a lifetime. I really do get some, like, you know, children energy, and I feel like that's the cycle here, really, is like, you really don't want to pass this on to your kids. You don't, because, you know, that's going to attract some really terrible partners to them, right? That are going to abuse this type of, you know, not having personal boundaries or personal space. All right, let's see how we can help break this. What can Scorpio do to help break this cycle? we have the Empress in reverse. Yeah, this is very much about letting go of like motherhood trauma is what I'm getting. Because this Empress I always get is like, you know, going to the mother and asking for forgiveness. And the mother's like, yes, my child, I will forgive you no matter what. Right? And that's the thing. It's like you can't fix the shit that happened with your parent. Right? But you can actively choose to not repeat that cycle. Right? And I feel like for some of you, it is really understanding that, you know, you're never going to get the justice that you deserve from a parent or possibly someone in a relationship, right? But this is very mothering energy. Mother-daughter, could be father-son as well. But you're never going to get that sort of, you know, reconciliation and justice, right? And that true mom energy, that love and that affection, right? But the way to heal that within yourself is to not repeat that cycle. Don't be like them. What's the light energy here? What's the light energy here? Light energy. We have Tranquil using Fly and Kangaskhan Khan using Tiny Punch. Yeah, Tranquil. I get very much as like, find your peace, right? Find your tranquility. And with Fly, like we have this, you know, flying energy, and it's like, get away from this, right? Like fly away and find your tranquility. And as you can see, like the houses are there, and this is very much like a leave home type energy. Like maybe if you feel the need to be this way, like fly the fuck out of there. Just like get out of the house, walk around, you know. Birds I always associate with air energy, and air being communication. Like just talk to a friend or something. It says, no matter where in the world it goes, it knows where its nest is, so it never gets separated from its trainer. Yeah, this is definitely some emotional enmeshment with a parent, of like a parent needing to know absolutely everything about you, right? And like no matter where it is, it knows where the nest is. It's never separated, right? And I feel like a parent definitely could have been like that. It's possible that a parent could have, you know, been fucked right off. And that causes you to need to cling to somebody so deeply so that they don't fly away like a parent did. But, you know, it's just, it's not healthy. It's just not healthy to be that way. And then we have Kangaskhan Khan using Tiny Punch. So this is going to hurt a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be a tiny punch. And Kangaskhan Khan is the mother Pokemon, right? It's the kangaroo Pokemon where she has the baby in the pouch. So I'm definitely even getting further energy of this sort of enmeshment between parent and child. It says, if it's safe, the young gets out of the belly pouch to play. The adult keeps a close eye on the youngster. Yeah, so I feel like for some of you, if you know, for like, if you're going to have children, or, you know, for children you're going to have in the future, it's very important to let others fly, right? There could have been a parent that was like, you know, like something bad happened and they shamed you, right? It's like, this is exactly what I said that would happen, you know? And, you know, don't repeat that cycle. You need to let yourself fly, for one. Like, you need to let yourself fly without always like knowing, you know, what's that someone else doesn't need to know what you're doing all the time. And then also, you know, for your own children, like, you know, they know where home is, they know where the nest is, let them fly, let them find their tranquility, because you need to let them out of the pouch, right? And, you know, the adults keep a close eye. Like, of course it's good to keep an eye on the youngsters, but you need to be able to let them fly so that they don't grow up in this fear, right? Because then they'll be stunted in their growth. All right, what's the shadow here? This is very much ancestral for sure. And like Spirit is very much focusing on the fact that you don't want to pass this to your kids. What's the shadow here? Heart energy. Yeah, I get that. I get that. So your heart chakra is very much in the shadow about this because, like, for you, the way that your heart feels safe is by gathering that intelligence. You need to know everything, and, you know, you need to invade on someone's personal space. And look at that. It's very invasive. Like, Vespa Queen, you do not want this bitch coming for you. She is scary. So I understand that you may feel like the way to protect your emotions and your heart is very much by gathering this intelligence on someone. And, like, your heart intentions, they're in the shadow, right? That's some dark energy for you to feel the need to know everything in order for you to feel secure, right? And it's very much like, it's not you. This is not you. This is something that a parent, the way they treated you, instilled this sort of fear into you that you feel the need to control somebody else so much by knowing everything about them. Just saying. I mean, I know. I'm a Scorpio too. I'm obsessive as fuck. So I understand this. But it is something that needs to be worked on. What does Scorpio's inner child need to hear? What does Scorpio's inner... Whoa. It's so weird. Whoa. Oh, there is water. I was going to say, I feel water on me. Where did this come from? I don't know. Wow, one of the cards is wet. That's really weird. And it went on my ring finger too. I don't know if some of you are married to somebody and that's the sitch, but that was weird. All right. I guess my ring finger just got randomly really sweaty and made one giant bead of sweat. I don't know. All right. Unless I spilled water, but anyway, whatever. All right. So the freeze in reverse. So, I mean, I never do these in reverse. So the freeze, right? So there is an aspect of needing to really freeze yourself. Like, as I said, when you have these instincts to do this, because it is an instinct, right? You have been programmed since birth to do this. So in order to freeze this out, like when you get that instinct, just freeze, right? Freeze, maybe go on a walk. And, you know, maybe that's what your inner child needs to hear is like, freeze, you know, just, and then think to yourself, right? There's very much a need to be still and to freeze. And I'm getting, you know, that like that game that you play when you're a kid where it's like freeze, unfreeze, like freeze tag. Like there is a need to just freeze and not do that, right? And there's a way, it's very much that you need to create some sort of mantra or tell yourself like freeze when you have those instincts. That way you can break that cycle. It's just breaking a cycle is a series of conscious choices. That's all it is. Are you always going to want to do this kind of shit? Yeah, probably, right? You're a Scorpio. Of course you want to know every fucking thing about everyone, but you very much need to tell yourself to freeze. And it also could have been because of a parent that was very cold, is what I'm getting. Because this is also a wintry sort of, you know, you're out in the cold and you need to know what's going on here. All right, Scorpio, please like, comment, subscribe if this resonated. If you're interested in a private read, feel free to email me at sachithescorpio@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at sachithescorpio. And as always, Scorpios, I am sending you so much love. I'm sending you a big hug and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah. Okay, my pensive Pisces. Let's see what cycle you are stuck in. What cycle is Pisces stuck in? Whoop. Please show us the cycle for Pisces, please. we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So already, you know, with Pentacles, I get very much money, housing situation, anything tangible that you can put your hands on. But this Ace of Pentacles, even though it's an ace, it's technically the Two of Pentacles. It's about being so disjointed from, like, coming from two different worlds, right? But with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like this is very much of sticking to what is comfortable. And I feel like it's very much to do with, like, you know, the way that you make your money is very comfortable. The way that you deal with your housing is very comfortable. Anything tangible, including physical relationships, you know, like people that you're physically intimate with. It's just like you aren't open to any sort of change. Like, you've become very complacent is what I'm getting. What's the light energy here? Magikarp using Epic Splash and Duosion using Double Link. Yeah. So, like, that's the thing. Like, you're still making movement, right? This is emotionally too, and it's Epic Splash. And Splash, you know, is kind of a dopey attack, I want to say. I'm so sorry, Pisces. This is sounding mean, and I don't mean it that way at all, and I hope that you know that. But, you know, there you are as the fish. And Magikarp is very much known as kind of like a dopey Pokemon, and it evolves into one of the strongest Pokemon, right? But I feel like you haven't reached that evolution point to become the dragon type, right? Because you're just very complacent with everything that's going on in the physical world. It's like you don't want to make any sort of physical changes, which is, you're still doing stuff, but it's just causing just splashes, right? You're just splashing around. It says, in the distant past, it was somewhat stronger than the horribly weak descendants that existed today. Well, that's rude. And I'm sorry. So there could be it could be because of some pressure in the house. Like, again, we have, you know, a house in the background. So I feel like this could do with whoever you're living with. And because it does talk about descendants, it could also be family and things like that, where it's like, they might compare you to themselves, or they might compare you to, you know, like, my parents did this and I did this. And it's like, bruh, like, if you keep holding me up to those standards, like, it's going to keep me in stagnation and just epically splashing. And some of you might actually be doing the same thing that your ancestors have done, and you're just feeling very much unfulfilled by it, right? Because you're stuck in not allowing a change in the physical world, and it just causes you to feel like you're splashing around. It's like, yeah, I'm doing stuff, but I'm just kind of flopping. And with Duosion using Double Link, this is a psychic type, so I get very much that you are psychically connected to more than one person when it comes to this. Because it's double, it could be two, so this could involve both of your parents or just involve two individuals in general. It says, when their two divided brains think the same thought, their psychic power is maximized. So even, you know, in a solitary way, I feel like this is your left brain and your right brain, right? Which is very much this Ace of Pentacles, but also division, right? Because the Ace of Pentacles can be the physical one brain, right? But as we see, there's two different worlds, two different hemispheres here. And it's like you aren't linking your right brain and your left brain together in order to maximize your potential, especially with your psychic power. Pisces, as you know, you're the most psychic of us all. So, you know, you can really, when you're able to make some changes in the physical world, right? Which can be your relationship with money. It can be your physical environment. It can be your physical relationships. It can be, you know, your relationship with physical items, whether you have any sort of, you know, what you eat, what you drink, any sort of physical addictions and things, right? It's really causing you to not be able to link your right and left brain here. What's the shadow? Wow. Drudgian using Proud Fang, and Trevenant using Nervous Seed. This came out for Scorpios, or Cancers. So the thing is, this is a dragon type, which can be soulmate or twin flame energy. I usually associate it with twin flame. But there could be some energy of like wanting to make somebody else proud, right? Of doing it for somebody else or someone else who only gives you praise. It's some really weird energy. Let's see what it says. It says it warms its body by absorbing sunlight with its wings. When its body temperature falls, it can no longer move. Yeah, so I feel like there might be this sort of enmeshment where, you know, you need to get praise and know that someone else is proud of you, probably two people that you're connected to, in order to find your own warmth, right? And when they're not giving you this sort of praise, then, you know, you feel like you can't fly, right? You feel like you can't be a dragon. And like I said, you know, Magikarp turns into one of the most powerful Pokemon, which is Gyarados. And it becomes like I said, it becomes a dragon type. And here we have a dragon type coming out that's like, yeah, like the thing is you can fly, right? But only off of the energy of somebody else, right? When they're giving you praise, when you're doing what they think you should be doing. And that's very much had to do with the water collective of the solar plexus chakra, you know. And then we also have nervous seed, which is psychic type. So again, I do think that, you know, psychically, because of this, right, this has been passed down to you. These impositions is what I'm getting, where it makes you very nervous. You might have inherited anxiety from this. It says, using its roots as a nervous system, it controls the trees of the forest. It's kind to the Pokemon that reside in its body. Yeah, as I said about the nervous system, it's about connecting your right and left hemispheres here, right? In order to root, right? To root, like to cause some sort of, you know, physical change in order to allow you to go into a new world. But, you know, the roots aren't there. And it talks about being kind to the Pokemon that reside in its body. So I definitely feel, you know, it's about being kind to yourself, right? You might have some body dysmorphia or something like that, where you only want to get praise from someone else. And it causes you to not be able to use, you know, both hemispheres of your brain at the same time. So very much, you know, needing to be kind to yourself, you know, talking nice to yourself, talking to your body kindly, that will change your life. All right, let's see how we can help break this cycle. How do we break this cycle? How does Pisces break this cycle? Okay. We have the Fool, the Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Moon. Let me drink some water. So you very much have to accept that this is going to be a new journey, right? Like, you're afraid to make physical changes, but what Spirit is saying is that that's exactly what you need to do. You need to take this risk. You need to be the Fool and go on a journey, right? But we do have the puppy there, so there is this aspect of, you know, having trusted companions with you for sure. But this is very much like, you know, it's time to start a new journey. But then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. You can't expect someone else to rescue you. The Knight of Wands in this card is a really awesome Knight of Wands. Like, he actually goes after his sweetheart and travels into the depths of the darkness. And look, there's the Moon, and we have the Moon, right? So you could be dealing with a Cancer, possibly another Pisces. But anyway, like, this guy travels down just to spend time with his dead loved one that was taken at sea. And he just spends time there so that they can swing together on this swing, right? He tries to rescue her as well. So this is very much like, you know, doing anything for someone that you love, right? But no, you can't do, like, you can't say, like, I'll do anything for you. That's unhealthy. And, you know, so very much boundary setting as well, but really just expecting, like, you need to go on a journey and be the Fool and start something new, and not expect some knight in shining armor to come and rescue you, because that's not going to happen, right? This is a journey to the center of the earth, right? This is very much shadow work of the moon, of going into the mystery. The moon, you know, is about mystery and secrets. And as you see, they are like descending down into this cave system, but they're finding the light there, right? Finding the light in the darkness. So I feel like this is a cycle that maybe you haven't been as aware of, and it's just starting to come to light, because it looks like you need to start this journey. But very much just, you can't expect someone else to save you through this. That's a light energy here. It's just about taking the journey. It's just about making a new beginning. Yeah, we have trainer Pokemon, breeder in reverse, and trainer switch raft. Yeah. So that's the thing. So trainers always indicate somebody else, right? So again, it can't be someone else. And this is saying, you know, with breeder, I take very much as, you know, the parents that brought you here, and also people that you want to have babies with as well. We have some Taurus energy and puppy spirit again coming out, and it's in reverse. So it's like, you can't expect your parents to do this for you, and you can't expect, you know, your children to do this for you, or someone else that you want to have children with, right? No one can rescue this. No one can rescue you from this. This is something that you have to go on a journey with yourself, right? You and your pet is what I'm hearing. Because they will always switch their rafts, right? It's a switch raft. Like, they can throw you this, but it's not going to rescue you, right? You're still in the water. They can give you a raft so that you know, right? Like, they can come down and get you out of the underworld, right? And try to bring you back. But the thing is, it's like a spirit, right? It's in a different dimension. So, like, they can throw you this raft, but, oh, you're still in the ocean, right? Like, in order, that's the work that you need to do for yourself. What's the shadow here? And especially with the Pokemon breeder, like, you don't want to pass this on to your kids. All right, what's the shadow here? What is the shadow here? Whoop. Wow, I wanted to go into my lap. Meowth using exhausted tackle. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that. Yeah, you're exhausted by this. It does exhaust you, and it's going to be an exhaustive task. We also have cat spirit coming out. Like, yeah, that's the thing. These cycles, right? It's something to work on between now and December. That's, you know, it's a decent amount of time, but it's not a long time. But this cycle can be broken, and it is going to exhaust you, right? You're starting a whole new journey of you know, self-sufficiency, basically, of not having to have someone else tell you that they're proud of you in order for you to fly, right? And it's re-regulating your nervous system. Yes, it's going to be exhaustive. And Pisces, you can do it. You can do it. So just know that, yeah, it's going to be tiring, and you're going to feel like, oh my God, I need a break. Oh my God, I need water, right? And just know that, yeah, that's part of it. And this is also money cat, so money is inherently involved here. It says, adores round objects. It wanders on the streets on a nightly basis to look for drop loose change. Yeah, so this is very much, you know, there might be some money struggles is what I'm getting. There could be some money struggles, but it's just, it's, in order to overcome the money struggles, yes, it's going to be exhaustive for a little bit, but you can do that, right? It's a cycle that you need to break, and then once it's broken, it's done, right? And it won't be exhaustive anymore. It just won't. You'll be able to fly on your own. Okay, right? Nothing good is easy. What does Pisces inner child need to hear right now? What does Pisces inner child need to hear right now? Pisces inner, whoa. We have the little coming out. So yeah, I do think that this has to do with what happened to you when you were little, whether you were a little boy or a little girl. Like, you know, it's very much ingrained to you since childhood. And also, you know, you don't want to pass this on to your littles, whether you have children now or are planning to in the future. It's just a cycle, you know, that needs to be broken so that it doesn't get repeated in your lineage. And then we have the create. So again, Pentacles, it has to do with, you know, anything physical that's in your environment. And this is very much a, you know, of being creative. So your inner child needs the space and the time in order to create what it wants to create, whether that's a painting, a poem, a song, you know, necklace. I just grabbed my own necklace. Like, you know, no matter what it is, and even if it's, you know, tarot card readings like what I'm doing right now, it needs to be able to create something. And the jump. So that's the thing. It's funny, I almost said it, but I didn't. But like this Fool, you know, usually Fool, he has one leg off, right? And he's going to jump off the cliff to take that journey into the unknown. Like, uh-oh, what's going to happen if I do this? You know, you need to take that jump. You need to take that leap of faith. So go and ask your inner child, like, why it feels that it's unsafe to take this leap of faith and make that jump and start the journey. And just calm that inner child and tell the inner child it's going to be okay. It's going to be a journey, but it's a journey that you need to take. All right, Pisces, please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more that I can send to you. And if you're interested in a private reading, feel free to email me at sachithescorpio@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at sachithescorpio. And as always, I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you a big hug and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.